Okay, we are live. So I'm trying a different method with the microphone today. Is my phone so the microphone is actually here. It's on the computer instead of on the webcam. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe that picks us up a little bit better. I'm still pretty close to it. So if you are watching live, I'm gonna pop my phone on here. And if somebody texts me or lets me know how the sound is, that would be awesome. Okay, so everything else is way excited. Let me see, Emily's telling me where the stars are, hopefully. This is my facial table. Okay, more boxes. Got it, okay, thanks. So we're not gonna look for them right now. They do exist now. We're gonna get the faces up there soon. Who has faces to put up there for the last 4 weeks? How many? Six. Good job. Okay, that's a start. Faces over the last 4 weeks that you know? Yeah. Faces that you own. You've done one facial the last 4 weeks? Okay. I think you have more than that, right?
I think I have, because I have one class. So there was 3, so 4.
Okay, so keep track of that for me, and we'll write it up there after this, and kind of keep track of that. But let's start with happy Thursday. Everybody breathe in, breathe out. All of the stress and the junk and everything is not here. We are compartmentalizing, and we are here fully. You and me both, right? Okay, so let's start with pro time. What happened in your business? What did you do, or what went well this last week? Something that you made happen, or something that happened to you? What happened? So up on the wall here, you are at the highest level of anybody in both of our units right now. Now, by the end of this month, that row is going to be like halfway across because we have quite a few people. Quite a few people that are really, really close, and some that were red jackets that will be back on within a few days. And so, I noticed though that there's only one picture on that wall. I'm really curious how many weeks and months I'm going to have to continue to say this to people to have you guys bring me one 5x7 picture. That's the only thing I'm going to refuse to do this time. Because if you don't want your picture up there, then I'm going to take your frame down because there's no need for that. So, well, because you were working on it. We ran out of all the time. So, 5x7. Yep.
Office notes. Then you take off your
phone. Yep.
79 cents.
It's so easy. It's really just not a hard thing, and so that's why I'm refusing to do it for everybody.
Well, then I'll have somebody take a nice picture of me all dressed up on the Office Max and get it.
Absolutely. The second you have that, you better leave your name to be up there.
My name will be up there.
Yep. And
Today.
I got lower dots yesterday, so everything's just Velcro. So everything is movable and changeable. Even the little icons, as things change, we can change those out. So it's fun. I'm exciting. That too. I'm excited about that, and to be able to visualize and see how people are moving up. And the goal would be to have all of those rows completely filled up with people. So, red jackets, congratulations. I need to find you an enhancer. I'm not going to do it while we're recording, but will you remind me tomorrow morning before we go, because you definitely want to have that 3 diamonds on your enhancer for Autumn to dance this weekend.
So she gets to go to the brush. Yes.
She does. We slid her right in there. I told Carol, I was like, I got one more, and she's like, we're already closed. But okay, just that way. Like, okay. So, other things, 3 things that happened last week. Things that you did.
I did a class, and
Great.
I had put new product on people that had never put products before. before, so that was fun.
That's a new verb. It had never been products before. I like that.
Yeah, well, it's an action one.
I love it. I love it.
It was fun. It
Good.
was different. It was all older women, so it was quite a different kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. So what were the results of that for you?
I did 190 class.
Great. That's right at that average. That's perfect. How many ladies were there?
There was 5.
Okay. And did you get any future bookings from that?
No, I
No?
did not.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that I won't,
Right.
because they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, there was a color class.
Okay.
So, but we went through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We did
Good
it.
job. Fantastic. Okay. Crow?
I helped one of my girls do, I think it was her second party.
Yeah.
And she did that.
Was that the one that was here when I wasn't here? I haven't heard anything about that. Tell me about it.
3 people came for her. She had 5 or 6 that were supposed to be there, right? So she had, so I talked to her about that. She even had her little mama cleaning, and it just helped her to do the class. And it was the first that she'd done totally on her own.
Right.
And
So she did it, you just hung out and filled in when you needed to?
well, that's how it started, and then there was too much that she didn't know, and then, so she would speak and, do the products, for the people, and then I would explain the products.
Good.
And so it was kind of a back and forth to help her, and I just told her, using that script, and so it is the best thing that's gonna do it.
Now, how did you feel? Because I feel like that's the first person that you've really gotten to help of yours start their own way. And
It was awesome, I mean, teaching and helping others, always like that.
yes,
It's good, it'll be fun to watch her grow.
and it's cool because you realize how much you know, right?
Yes.
I got to dial in. Like, it's amazing.
And realize how far I've come myself.
Yeah, awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I haven't really done a whole lot other than booking calls for Emily, but
Which you're amazing at. How many parties did you book yesterday?
right now, I think I have a total of 11 parties booked for her in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
I have been on the phone, and then I went home, because I hadn't had time to really do anything for me, leaving Saturday
Yeah.
for Arizona. I'm gonna miss all of you guys, I'm so sorry. But I was able to do like 40 calls last night for myself, and I just kept it going. I'm like, okay, I booked one to come in today at 1 o'clock and bring some friends, so that'll give me my extras for my pearl bracelet to go on my pearl earrings.
Okay, are they coming for sharing appointments?
Yes.
Okay.
For
Okay.
sure.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was told if they can come to the class at 1 o'clock, we could consider them as sharing.
Okay.
That's what we were told at the beginning. So, and that's what I was told by Emily.
Okay, what we have, and we'll clarify this.
Okay.
We have the options. We have a 1 o'clock sharing appointment and a 2 o'clock sharing appointment, and then we have a 1 o'clock class. So Emily and I would do them separately. So if they haven't ever come to anything before, then typically we start with a skincare class, and then we would do a sharing appointment after. So I'll let you and her figure that out. I'm sure
Well, I
that,
don't even know she's gonna be here because she has the doctor's appointment, so now that I finally got somebody to come.
well, I will do that class for you. So we'll go from there. So, okay, so that'll be fine. I have a pro as well, which is just, it was kind of an amazing day the other day. A lot of different things were happening. But I started getting just orders. And I'm gonna share something that I wouldn't normally share, and I'm realizing this is recorded, but whatever. There was a consultant in, I believe, US City or Bible or somewhere, that messaged me on Facebook and let me know that one of her customers was here in town and needed her foundation. And it was a cream to powder, which not everybody has, and so she said, do you have this? And I said, yes. And then do you have this? Yes. And then I went ahead and connected with the customer. What happened is that her husband is a lineman, and he's actually the safety guy, and 150 feet up in the air, safety precautions 100% in place, and somehow something went wrong, and he touched a wire or something, and he has a suit, that allows the electricity to go around the suit instead of onto his body. Like that's how, right? And so, but the wire that was grounded somehow was live. And so he ended up holding on to the wire, and at least 5 courses of electricity going through him, his body. You know, I don't think the suit is meant to withstand that. And his only thought, I mean, he had actually disengaged from the, whatchamacallit, you know, the
Lifeline.
or the clip.
Harness.
Yeah, harness, yeah, because he had to go around, I don't know, something. So, and so he's hanging there on a live wire, 150 feet in the air, knowing that he cannot let go, because if he lets go, he'll die. And is wondering how in the world he is still alive at this point, holding on, and somehow is able to throw himself off and land on a small platform. And just like his guys, did you guys know that there was a guy 2 weeks ago with PG&E that passed away, that was a lineman? And so everybody knows each other. And so his guys are there on different parts of the tower watching this, nothing they can do. And he's laying there wondering how on earth is he still alive. And so they came in with a helicopter and like you harnessed into that and they flew him to the hospital. I don't know. So he was in the hospital and they got 4 kids. She like beelined it up here and needed her products because she wanted to feel human.
Yeah.
You know, she'd already been in the hospital with him that day and overnight. And so by the time I was able to go to her, it was morning. And so I talked to her, figured out what she needed, a couple, 3 or 4 little things, nothing huge. And so I went over and I gave those to her, and the thought that I had the day before was, I'm not gonna charge her for this. Like, it's not my customer. This is not like a product that I'm stuck, like, I don't, like, she's going crazy. I don't care if she's got all the money in the world. Like, I feel like I don't want to charge her for this. And then she added some other things, and you know how in your head you go, I didn't know. I felt like I shouldn't charge, so I didn't charge her. So I brought it to her at her hotel room. Her 10-month-old baby started sleeping, and she told me the story. Even showed me pictures of where like his foot was burning, and so there's like 5 little pinprick black dots on the bottom of his foot, and his sock has a black charge, like the electricity literally went through his body and out his foot and burned his sock. And so the fact that he is alive is miraculous, and the fact that he's tremendously sore and still watching him. There's a lot of future things that can still go wrong, and so definitely still watching him and making sure that things are okay. But at the moment, it looks like he's gonna be okay. So that's how my day started, and it was just, sometimes when you're able to bless other people, like it just feels good, right? And so I'd had kind of a lot of things going on the last week or two, and so that was just the start of it. And I don't know if I checked my phone or something, but I looked on there throughout the day, and I had 2 separate orders come in. One of them from a lady that I hadn't heard from in a while, just $34 order, and then the other one from a lady that orders $30, $40, $50 maybe every once in a while. It's a $220 challenge of hair order. And I'm like, okay, So connected with her, and then I went over to CareNet. You guys heard of CareNet? Pregnancy Center. So I went over there. I had an opportunity to talk to them a little bit last week, and was really impressed with what they do. And got there about 45 minutes before they opened, but I could see the girl inside, and I'm like, ooh, hey, man, how do I check this thing out? And so I did. I was able to go take a tour of their place. Really, really, really impressed with them, and want to be a part of what they do on some level. And so it was really great to go in there and take a tour and see what they have available, and just the different things that they do for expectant mothers and families, and how they give so much. And yet the way that it comes about is somebody watches and learns about how to take care of a kid or themselves, and it's just an incredible place. And so was able to take a tour in there, and gave them a little donation, and let them know that I was going to come back at some point, and whether it's gathering things for them or whatever, and so that blessed my heart as well, because being able to know that I can do that, and that I may not choose to make the time to physically go in and be present there, but there's other things that I can do from out here, whether it's money or whether it's gathering, clothes and toys and different things that they give away, or even formula. Do you know that,
For me, some.
okay, yeah, but do you know how much formula, companies send out to expectant mothers? Just in the mail, they think I'm pregnant again, so they send me more. And so I've gotten, some things in the mail and big chunks of it. And people get those whether they use formula or not. I mean, I'm wondering if we collect those and donate that sort of thing.
I kind of think put something together where it gets to the community.
Yeah, and so just little ways that I feel like we have a community of women that know women, that this is something that we can do, and whether that's up your alley or not. I was excited about the option. And then got back here, had a phone call from a woman who orders men's face bars for her sons. And so normally she orders 6 to 8, today she ordered 2 or the other day. And we had talked about time wise repair before, and she had wanted to come to a class and she's struggling, and she's like, I want to see what and so I just brought it up because she's ordering from me anyways. Did you want to go ahead and get that time wise repair line? I know that we have to go to a class, but it's amazing. Told her more about it, and my $24 sale changed into a $229 sale. And then throughout the day, I was able to go deliver that, and had something else come in that was an $8 sale, and I sold $500-600 by noon, and I didn't do anything.
I was here. And she's like, oh, okay.
It's amazing. So not only just what comes in, but what that allows us to give out, and so, I've been prepping a lot. I get to be one of the teachers this weekend for your class. So there's going to be breakout classes, and we have 3 different teachers based on what level you're at. Okay, and so I get to speak to the Red Jackets about recruiting. And so it's been going through my head a lot, on what to say, what to do. And so I don't know where I was going with that. It's been in there. And so I'm working on that and different things coming through and realizing so much more the power of influence that we have as you move up in this business, how many more people that you can affect. The money in Mary Kay, fantastic, right? Fantastic. But is that the end all? Depends on what you do with your money. Money is great, but there's a lot of people that have a lot of money that aren't very happy.
Yeah.
So what is it? What's the journey, for starters, to moving yourself into a position of influence, financial influence, influence for other people, influence emotionally, and also every aspect, right? So what's the journey? What's the process that kind of molds us and shapes us into somebody that, as we move higher and higher, is worthy of that influence? You know what I mean? It's not easy to move up in this business, right? And sometimes you do everything right and it doesn't work. But at the same time, you keep doing that and you look back and you go, oh, that's what was happening, And so I know you have to leave at 11, and so I'm not going to go into too much, but I'm going to practice on you guys some of the things that I'm going to be sharing so that you guys get that. And it will probably look entirely different by Saturday. But just want you guys to know that that's some of the things that are in my head and in my heart, is to more than just the financial benefits of Mary Kay and why we recruit or why we move up in this business, but all the other benefits and blessings that come with it that we are allowed to pursue because we have a flexible schedule, the money to pursue it, the resources and friend base, even, to encourage you and move you forward in your dreams and your goals and what you want to do and all of it. So.
Well, Amber,
Yes.
you were talking about Pyramid, and I know that Reading has just opened a place called One Safe Place. Just. It was just built. They just had their big thing, and it was all mayor and everybody was there. But that's a place where they're gonna have X amount of rooms, and each room has its bunk beds, its own private bathroom. And these are for families and for mothers with kids that, you know, are displaced due to, whatever the circumstances are. And, you know, thinking of CareNet, One Safe Place would be another one that would really benefit these people because they're already so down.
Right.
And no telling what they got to leave with.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I know, and there are so many places that we can put our efforts. I do have a sister sales director that has worked with One Safe Place a little bit before, so.
And I know somebody that received a package, Mary Kay, for her and her daughters, which was awesome, and led her back to becoming.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so, let's move on to a little training. You have a phone call at 11:30, just so you know. Is your phone present? Okay, so it'll just come on your phone number, and then you can, it's still IRA, but just so you know. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, is your iStory. Were any of you here on Monday night? Okay, so we talked about this on Monday night, and so we figured the overlap, that a lot of people are here, don't come Monday nights and vice versa. And so, we want to share a little bit more about it right now to have you guys be able to get your iStory on point. And this honestly kind of goes back to the recruiting aspect a little bit as well. So, one of the things in your iStory that you want to make sure that you're sharing is what about Mary Kay are the things that benefit you personally, okay? So an iStory is so much more than just, well, this is my story, this is how I ended up here, okay? You want to tie in the different benefits of Mary Kay and what you have seen in your own life, as well as some of the other things, to plant those seeds for women that may need those same things, okay? So let's start by, what are some of the benefits that you personally have gotten so far in your Mary Kay business from being in a company like this?
I think the confidence.
Great, write it down for me.
Okay. My confidence now, because my self-esteem and my self-worth was just so low, you know, due to my own living situations and what's going on in my life, that, you know, just within the last 4 weeks, the amount of confidence and the way I feel about myself and the way I present myself and how I'm projected to other people.
Yeah.
You know, the compliments is just, I can't believe it.
Makes you stand up taller and,
Yeah.
yeah,
It makes me want to be better,
yeah,
you know? I mean, look at me. I could, before I started this, I maybe wore makeup 5-10 times in the last 20 years. And it was for this wedding, that wedding, whatever. Now, I don't get up with that.
and I would never know that you didn't wear it on a daily basis, and not that makeup is the end all, but again, it's how we feel with it, and that lip color is perfect for you, yeah. And I was noticing it, so,
It's the only one I have.
which one is it?
I have no idea, but it's in my purse, so I'll show you.
So confidence, so all of us write down all of these, so confidence is one of them, and that's huge, right? So we'll talk a little more about that in a minute. What else?
Yeah.
Friendships, absolutely. New friends, can we agree that Mary Kay friends are like the best friends to have?
Yes, definitely.
The way you look,
Mhm.
I mean, just the skincare
Yeah.
made such a difference in my appearance. One day I'm looking at maybe getting a facelift, the next day I'm not. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
Yeah. So if we take that, because anybody can have the skincare, as a consultant, the benefits that we get is we get it for half price. Okay, so we can afford to look amazing, and have those benefits and afford, and not have to have a facelift.
And it's
And it's okay, so that's two, right? So we've got 50% off all of our own amazing products and the write-offs that come with that aspect of it. Great, what else?
I didn't know it at the time of training, but how much you help everyone.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
see that. like I said, I didn't know it then, but I see that now, how much I help.
Will you, write down for me somewhere there, because I don't want to say it in front of Jessica, because I get to talk about it later. The rope through the maze, just write that down, this is just for you to remind me later. Because I don't get up and give trainings, or I'm gonna do this, you know, but I haven't yet. This is the first time that I've been asked to be a teacher at a conference, and so I'm excited about it, but my head has all these different things, you know, and I wanna make sure to at least pull the right ones in that have been swirling enough, so. Okay, yeah, helping other women, definitely. And, you know, you put / influence right there, because again, that help that we are able to give to other people increases as we move forward in our business and our sphere of influence is clear. No.
I've noticed kind of the same with the confidence, like I'm more outspoken, I just feel like stronger as an individual, just can voice my own opinion and things instead of just going along with what everyone else wants to be my own person.
So inner strength, right? And inner strength is huge because it manifests in outward confidence, right? But that core of who you are, knowing who you are, and you know, one of the other things that we're going to talk about is rejection, because this is a business of rejection. But this is a life of rejection too. And people spend their whole lives, gosh, I'm getting into my speech. People spend their whole lives running away from rejection. You know, because it hurts. It sucks. I hate it. But this teaches us in a safe, secure, supportive, encouraging, positive environment how to deal with it and move on. And so it builds that core, that inner strength. Like I wish I had the core of somebody who worked out all the time, but if I had to choose between the two, I would go for the core of inner strength of knowing that I know who I am and I accept who I am, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of me, that I have the confidence in and of myself to keep moving forward no matter how many times I get rejected. That doesn't mean you don't look at yourself if there's issues, right?
Yeah.
But constantly moving forward and improving who you are, and that strength to say that I'm okay. So that's a good one. Okay, what else? Other things, anything else?
It helps your family too. I mean, it builds better family relationships. My granddaughter yesterday was having a little bit of a difficulty in school. We were talking about relationships. And I said, honey, if you want me to, I'll challenge you at school tomorrow. But no, Grandma, that's your Mary Kay Day, and I don't want to take that.
Yeah.
And I said, you are my focus. So Mary Kay will wait while I take care of you. And she said, no, I really want you to.
So there's like 3 different things that come out of that. One, priorities.
Right.
Right, and we're rewriting the temporary reasons here. Priorities, faith first, family second, career third. And that we have, this all goes with flexibility, I guess. We have the flexibility to have our priorities the way that we want them. You know, other JOBs, you get stuck in those and you don't get your choices, right, Jess? And you get annoyed and frustrated that you don't have any wiggle room and you can't be where you want to be. Okay, but in Mary Kay, if this is what you do, you have that freedom and the time to spend with your family. You have the choices. So that's, I mean, I guess, priorities / flexibility / choices. And then the last one that I heard in there is you're a role model for all the people that see you, and namely the wives, right? You know, it's amazing sometimes what I hear Kaya say. I mean, we were going to get the second Cadillac, and she's like, I'm so glad you're in Mary Kay one. You know, and she has her reasons and her different things, and I'm just like, so am I. You know, like it's just so cool that I get to spend the time with her that I do, and make the choices that benefit her. And yet she doesn't see a mom that spends every single ounce of my time on my kids. I don't live for my kids. I love my kids, but I don't live my life so that their lives will be better, like solely. Does that make sense? That comes out wrong, but
I also don't work 80 hours a week.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, oh, totally. But they also see somebody that doesn't work 80 hours a week, but is still respected and has a thriving career and has the financial ability to do things, and yet doesn't always, doesn't just give them what they want, all doesn't spoil, you know what I mean?
Well, she comes down here so she can do her Chinese classes, and Erica makes that
Oh,
possible.
absolutely.
And she makes that possible for you to be here with us, and so that just kind of, that's pretty.
It's a win-win.
It is, and it's all very much interconnected. But I mean, gosh, where else do we get all of this? I mean, there's a lot of places that you can get some of these things, but I don't know if anywhere that it comes with that and money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's right. You can have your time and you can have your, you can help other people and you can have your confidence and you can have your influence and all this. But good luck finding something that gives you all of that as well as an amazing income and nice skin. So awesome. Any other little things that you can think of? Yeah.
Again, didn't know that at the time when I joined, but the recognition that's given to us for what we do.
Prizes. How do we miss prizes? Oh my goodness.
It's more amazing than you think, and even when you start, you're like, all right, I don't want that, or I don't want that, but once you're in it and doing it, and you get the prizes, and you get the recognition for what you've done, no matter big or small.
Yeah.
It's awesome, yeah. There you go, thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that builds everything too.
Yeah, and that, I think, ties into the confidence as well, and ties into, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing this, okay, this is why I'm doing this, and it gives you more and more reasons why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're on the cusp of going to do that big thing, the Oliver dance, and so, and that is recognition,
Yeah.
and that is going to be fun. You're going to be recognized for your red jacket, and, I think it's exciting. Just an exciting time.
And I think that sometimes we as women, and I started, I didn't like the recognition. I wanted the prizes and I wanted to be the best, but I didn't want to stand up there and talk, I didn't like that. And so it's taken me 7 years. What?
I didn't either.
Yeah, right?
I'm laughing because one time we were here and you just got everything there was to get. And you're like, it's almost like she was feeling so embarrassed,
But you know what? I like being up front, don't like over there and there's 100 people here.
But it's almost, it's oddly enough, it's growth to be able to accept a prize, accept a compliment, accept, and accept all of those things and know that I worked hard and I won the prize and I deserve it. And so I make a point of not messing with things too much until you get there, because when you get there, it's so much sweeter, and so being able to really appreciate that recognition because it's earned, and you've done the things that it took to get there. And then, that translates to everything, being able to take a compliment. Yeah, right?
I've noticed lately, because I'm the kind of person that if I get a compliment, I just kind of I just find every way to push the compliment away.
Yeah.
And I've noticed lately, and I also don't take their prizes or gifts or anything from people, because I'm like, well, you should keep that.
Yeah.
But lately, I'm just like, thank you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
notice myself saying thank you instead of no.
Right.
When you accept it graciously, though, you actually help them grow, because it's so exciting, because they're not, they have that idea, I want to give this to her, and for what you've done for them, and instead of putting them down, you're accepting them and their gift. That's a lot.
And it raises our deserve level. So, you look at a celebrity. Celebrities get handed so much stuff. money and swag bags and everything that they're just given, right?
But they don't have any appreciation for it.
I
mean,
don't
just
know. I
saying.
think that that's kind of stereotypical. I have no idea what they appreciate and what they don't, and who does and who doesn't. But what I'm saying is, you don't see them going, oh, no, I don't, no, you take that. Because they have the confidence and the deserve level to know that they are a person of influence. And therefore, when somebody gives them something, it is because of that and that influence. I mean, if they rock a pair of headphones and something, you know, like other people are going to see that and want to buy that. So, I mean, there's just this deserve level to that. And not that we have to not appreciate it.
I think that was kind of the wrong word. I don't
No,
think
I
that's
understand.
really what I
Yeah,
meant, but.
But that we can have the best of both worlds there and really be grateful and appreciative and yet understand that we did work hard and we did deserve it. And we didn't. You know, like I didn't work very hard for the $500 that I made a couple days ago, but I've worked hard for the last 7 years. You know, and those things happen. Seriously. I mean, it just kind of blew my mind. Like, I didn't start that day thinking, you know, about that, and I was just like, I'm giving, and it's just piling
Just
right
kept
back into
piling
my
in.
lap.
It was,
I put it on Facebook.
you know, it goes back to the Mary Kay autobiography, where, you know, the more she gave,
Mhm.
the more she received, you know? I mean, you know, and like, God was her number one, and it's almost, you know, like where she said in there that she was going to match what the congregation gave. I was like, and she's thinking, couple thousand, 5,000, 20,000. Lo and behold, $107,000, and they're like, well, she didn't get her call, she waited all night for it, she gets it, we just kind of had a meeting, and we really don't want to hold you to this, you know, but she was stuck by her word, and you know, that little investment that she forgot about just came through. I was just like, amazing.
Who sent you down a biography? Working on it. It's incredible. It's incredible. And what? I said, oh yeah, Jack hasn't done that. Hey,
It's so worth it.
yeah,
I couldn't stop reading it.
So, okay, so we have a lot of things that we have gained from this business, right? So, and there's more. Obviously, the prize, we said recognition, but the prize is the fun. Oh, fun. Fun.
Really fun.
Right? I mean, it is fun.
The fun and the activities you get to do, and
Yeah.
people you get to spend the time with to do it.
All of it. So think of all of those things. And when you're sharing your iStory, it looks like I'm probably not going to get into the logistics of how to write your own iStory today.
I really need to know, because I want to.
Okay, I'll give you the snippet in a minute. But the reality of it is your iStory is put in place for you to be authentic and real about these things right here. Okay, so yes, you want to say, okay, so here's right, it's right now, if you want the snippet of how to do it. You want to say how long you've been in business. You want to say what you did before or what you do alongside of your Mary Kay business. Okay, you may want to say why you started Mary Kay, kind of what got you into it, what led up to it. I'll slow down.
Yeah, I can.
I'll see if anybody can hear us.
What you did beforehand, or what you do along with it, and why you.
And then you transition into what you love about it. So this is why I love my Mary Kay business. Now, you don't have to go through all of those things. You can pick a few. You can tell stories about one or two if you want to. It shouldn't be hugely long, 2 minutes maybe. But you can, that helps you begin to relate to the people that are in front of you. Because all of those things that we just said, everybody wants to meet those things in their life. And so we can tell somebody why Mary Kay is going to be good for them all we want. But what happens when you tell somebody something?
You feel like you're just shoving it out.
Let me tell you what to do. Let me tell you. It goes in one ear and out the other. Because I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a rebellious person. If you tell me what to do, I want to go do the other thing. Just because you told me to do it. It doesn't always serve me well, but it's true. So, you know what I mean? So instead of talking at somebody or telling them all the reasons that Mary Kay is such a great business, it is so much more, what's the word for it? Not personal, effective.
Yeah.
When you simply share from your own heart what is real and true and authentic for you, and nobody will poo-poo them. Okay? Nobody will say, oh, well, Mary Kay, da-da-da-da, because you're sharing your own personal experience, and in our society, we've learned to value other people's opinions, regardless of whether they agree with you or not for themselves. They can celebrate with you what you have received from this business. Okay? So you say, so there's a lot of things that I love about my Mary Kay business, but I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how Mary Kay has increased my confidence. And you shared that you didn't wear makeup. And then when you walk into a room, you feel so much different. And that it's not just the makeup, but it's how you feel and how other people treat you. And that's giving you the confidence to move forward and to go over the hurdles, because there's always hurdles. And you can even say to them, like, who of you feels like you could use more confidence? Like, I think everybody, right? We feel like we could use more confidence. So that's just one of the things. Some of the other things that I've loved about this business are a couple of, but we're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But I just wanted to kind of just plant the seed for you guys as to what I do and why, and again, put it back to yourself, what I do and why I do it, so that if any of that resonates with you, kind of pay attention a little bit. This is what we do, and we'll talk a little bit more later and see if it's something that might interest you at all.
That reminds me of this quote that I saw on Facebook. It says, more people need to understand this. If you tasted the best piece of cake in your life, would you still continue to eat it, even if a few people tell you it's disgusting and they don't like it? The other person says yes. Exactly. So why do you give up on the choice food someone who makes them happy because of the things irrelevant people say?
Absolutely. That's good. Thank you for that. Will you give me the link to that or send me that? Okay. Might make it into my speech. I call it a speech. It's a training, but whatever. I'm working on it like a speech, right? So that's really it. It's a snippet into who you are, why you started Mary Kay, and some of the fun things about it. And so I start by talking about Mary Kay as a company, and I share, the 98% comes back to us as consultants, and I give those 5 things, the ways that we make that 98% to get their brains going, huh? What? Wow. Cars, and I go into detail, prizes, trips, commission checks. Now I share my stories with some of those, right? If you don't have stories as far as a big, huge commission check yet, or a car, change that up a little bit. Get excited for yourself. You don't have to tell my story. You say, oh my gosh, you guys, I am working on earning my very first free car. So part of that 98% is you get to earn free cars. So the first one is it should be crisp. Pull up a picture, like a red one, whatever. Like, go into detail about how amazing it is. And, my friend just got one, and she got eyelashes on it, never had a brand new car. I'm so excited. I'm working on earning that very first free car, and they pay for all the taxes, go to detail. So personalize it, So again, that you're not just spewing out little facts, you know? And then prizes. Where are your prizes? You know, and you can say something like, my sales director's earned over $14,000 worth of diamonds. Crazy. In the 7 years that she's been in business.
And how many Cadillacs have you had now?
This is, yesterday was the first time I kind of got an extender for it. This is the Triple Crown necklace. This is one that took place at Pace's 7 years. Yeah, you fill it in the next year. If you do triple star, you fill it in, and then it'll be the 2 pieces on the outside, and then it'll be 2 more like this. Yeah, so I finally, there it is. Sorry, I got distracted by prizes. But you talk about your prizes.
Yes.
You know,
Who
and
doesn't like rocks?
who doesn't like rocks, right? Yeah. But, you know, and where are your prizes? And then you can always say something about how they're more is possible, but take a picture of the sales, Queen Sport Personal Sales or sharing rings. Hold them up, have props a little bit, you know? Like, I just want to show you, pass it around. Like, these are the things that I'm working on, I'm so excited, you know, whatever. So,
Getting your bag.
it's like, what?
Petting your bag. I love that one.
Oh, pet your bag, okay, got it. I was like,
Yes.
good views. But yeah, you know, and so give them a visual of those things that are exciting to you, because the more times that you say it out and you see it and you hear their reactions as well, the more it goes back into your own head and becomes more true for yourself. There's something, I've heard about it a couple times from Mary Kay Nationals, reticulator activators, there's some sort of thing in your brain that when you say things, it creates that memory in your brain, and it literally creates a groove, you know, to where it's what?
It's kind of the Bible says positive meditation.
It's not even, I mean, maybe, but just, yeah,
That same.
it's constantly in front of you, and so that you physically do more to pursue that thing, you know, and you'll hear it called all sorts of things, the law of attraction and the, you know, whatever. But what it really is when you have something, when you're focused on something and you want it and you speak it out, then you're speaking it and you're hearing it and you're internalizing it, and then other people are saying, I mean, it becomes more believable to you. So this whole thing up here, if you believe it, you can achieve it. You know, I mean, I used to look at that as like, I don't know that I believe it, but I'll try to achieve it. You know, but as you really internalize those thoughts and processes and do the math, if you're a math, do the math. I have to do the math for things. I have to know that I can get there and break it down, because Mary Kay is mathematical, right? I have to break it down by the numbers of what it's going to take for me to achieve that goal, and then I can continue to say that and actually believe it. So
That's one of the things I always taught my kids. Not my own kids, but working with the school district and especially the kids for years. That was my retirement pension right now, is on that. But, you know, the more they see something, they say it, they hear it, they believe it. And, you know, then it just becomes second nature.
well, the same is true from the opposite side of things, right? If we say, I just can't do it,
Then you're just not gonna do it.
if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you're right. You know, so, does that help a little bit with the I story?
Yes.
So I like to dig in deep and I like to get personal. Emily said one time that something that changed for her when with recruiting at her parties was slowing down a little bit. And I think that she's talking a little bit more about when she got to 10 Perfect Reasons, because she just wasn't seeing the results and people as interested, but because she was just kind of going through it like it was a party, you know, and she didn't like take a step back with each one and really get relational. We're women, we got those feelers, we want to be relational, you know, and we understand if somebody's just doing it to do it, you know, and so when she really took a step back and went a little slower on those things that were more important, Okay? Skincare is skincare. Who cares? You can live and die with bad skin. Nobody cares. Maybe make her a little bit. But at the end of the day, like, this is, the inside is what matters, right? And so that is what Mary Kay can affect for you in addition to your skin. And so that's what's going to resonate with people. And so I'll go through the skincare because they're going to like it and love it and buy it if they can. I'm not worried about that aspect of it because it sells itself. They can touch, they can feel. It's tangible, right? But what Mary Kay can do for their lives, they don't know that yet. And so that's where I have to slow it down. And I have to give them my experience and my story so that, I mean, stories have power. So that they can internalize some of that and it gets that brain going. Wow, maybe there's something there for me.
I think this class, this one here would be a good recruiter.
Well, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, we'll fine tune it a little. It'll be interesting to see if we can even hear it. So, but you know, so you go in deep and then you pull it back out and you make it light. So you can dig in deep when you're talking about yourself, but you never want to put too much pressure on them. Because where there's a couple people that maybe are like, yes, I want that and I'm gonna go for it. Honestly, what I found is some of those people, they go, yes, I want that, I'm gonna go for it. And I go, great, let's go for it. And 5 minutes later, I can't find them. Because they are that passionate about the next thing and the next thing, but they have no stick-to-itiveness, you know? And so I've learned that those aren't always the people that I want to chase and glom onto. I will work with them, and sometimes they are. But as a rule, I want the people that think about it a little bit more, that may be a little skeptical, that may be a little hesitant, that take 3 or 4 or 5 times coming back in and really doing their homework to figure out if this is where they want to be. Now, I signed up on the spot without ever having checked the pocket, so at least take it both ways, you know. But I think that we dig in with ourselves and then we go and make it right. So if you're looking for anything extra, and I started to say this a little bit different, just a little bit, or all the way, you know, to the top. I usually say a little bit or a lot or anything between, and I just kind of go back to it. Just a little bit here and there, or all the way to the top, or anything between. We'll chat a little more about that later. So plant the seed and then take away the water. You just start for a minute. Let's do the fun stuff. Let's get in here and I leave alone. And so we do skincare, we have a blast, and then, you know, we go through what they can order and all that stuff. We do the referrals, and then temporary reasons, we take it back. But I've already dug in really deep. I mean, I can again there if I need to, but again, I'm taking it back to these are some of the reasons, and I share my little snippets in between. You need to go. Thank you. You're sweet for not just standing up and walking out when I'm talking. By the way, this weekend, in case I haven't ever shared this with you, if ever a sales director or a national is presented or brought up, we always stand. Just FYI. I don't know that I should have that. Careful with this guy.
Yes.
Remind me tomorrow morning to get your answer.
I have a note right here.
Yay! Okay, so I lost my train of thought. Okay, temperate reasons. Okay, so go back to temperate reasons because you want to leave them with that at the very end because they probably forgot. Maybe they did, but maybe they forgot while they're doing all the fun stuff. And then they go, oh yeah, this is a business opportunity, right? And you do the 3 questions on the back of the profile card, like and fun, you get their answers. And then individual consultations, you can connect more with them one-on-one and go from there. Make sense? So I did not write out a nice story for you. I can give you a handout that we gave out on Monday that literally has this and has a block for you to write it. You want that?
Yeah, I mean,
Will you write that down and remind me to give it to you? I'll put it on the Peak Boot Camp.
the reason
Page.
is, I want to do my website, and I can't do it without that.
Sorry. What? You can't do it without what? Your
My
story?
story.
Why can't you?
I keep asking for the story
On your website?
for a website. Well, you know, that's what you put on it, and that's what's
On-
holding me up.
For the Mary Kay customer website?
No, for, yeah, that one. The one, our web, personal.
Are you talking about the,
Our personal website.
She's creating her own personal website.
no, but are you talking about the Port of Achievers, if you did something like that? Or are you talking about the one where your customers go on and,
Right.
okay. So you don't need an iStory on there.
Oh, it says to.
It has an option. Go get your website.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. No, you don't have to have that, and that can grow, and you can always go in and change things and add things later.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so, the red jacket thing and recruiting.
Yes.
I may have said pieces of it, I don't even know. But I'm gonna start with the rope thing. So this is kind of what I feel like, and you really pinpointed this for me, that this is so, so true. I feel like as a sales director, I have gone into a cave. I want to have a different description for that, a cave, but maybe whatever, a cave to start. And there's a light, there's different lights, different places maybe. And it's a maze. And you're trying to find your way to the lights, and there's more than one of them. And maybe that's the levels up on the career path. You know, you get to new levels and different things. But as a sales director, we have navigated through that cave and through the maze, and we know one of the ways, I should say, to get there. It doesn't mean that there's not more than one way. It's not a maze that there's only one way to get to the end. Okay, there's a lot of different ways, but there's also a lot of dead ends. Okay, and so I feel like what we as sales directors have done is we have a rope, and we put a rope through on the pathway that we have taken. And, you know, maybe we have a rope, or there's other sales directors that have taken other paths and their ropes are in there too. But it's one of those ropes that's like a guide rope. And so as a new consultant coming into the cave, it's dark, but I guess it is. I mean, it's only a cave in the sense that it's unknown. You know, and so it's an unknown future. Being that everybody starts in Mary Kay with a starter kit, nobody knows when they begin how to get from here to there. I think the only people that would have more of an inkling is daughters of nationals or sales directors who have seen part of it, but still they don't know because they haven't done it themselves. So there's this, you know, the way that we've gone and the different paths that we've taken and the dead ends that we've taken, and things can change because what didn't work for us may work for somebody else, you know. But at the core of it, we have left a rope for the people that are following us. And so have you guys ever played that trust game where one person is blindfolded and the other person is telling them where to go? No? I may have to do that. I don't know, not here, but at the red jacket thing. That can be good, because, you know, I just have them close their eyes, but anyway, right on them. Well, but it's a trust game where you have one person trying to tell the other person where to go and what to do, and they can only say, I think, right, left, or stop. You know, and so you're trying to get somebody to the right place, guide them, and you can't touch them. This is a very good analogy. I like this. Okay, so being able to do that for somebody, and you know, you say right and they hear left, or you know, you say whatever. You don't get all of the words to communicate necessarily, or maybe they don't hear it. And so I feel like as a director and a new consultant coming in, I'm going back to the front of the cave with them, and I'm saying, okay, here's the rope. Here's the rope. This is what I've done. These are the things that I've learned, and I can take you from this side to that side, which the light, not good either. Don't pull away. But I can take you there, right? And so it starts by them feeling the rope, and do I like this rope? Is this a rope that I really want to hold on to? Is it going to get calluses? Like, what's going to happen with the rope?
But remember, there's prices.
Yeah, those are the little lights, all the little things, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a video game, right? There's Edmund's here, there's
Video games.
They had Mary Kay Monopoly. They came out with it as a Star Consultant limited edition thing one time. My daughter loves it. So anyways, so you start with them on the rope, and I'm not allowed to touch them. I'm not allowed to take their hand and move it to the next step. I can only tell them where it's going. And sometimes maybe my rope's gonna run into a wall because that worked for me and it didn't work for them. Right? Well, and sometimes, I can guide them somewhere else. There's a lot of different things that I can do because I've been there. Maybe I've got the night goggles, like I can see, or I just know because I've done it enough times that I know my way around, and I can help guide them. But it's their choice whether they're going to listen, and it's their choice of whether they're going to be coachable. So that's the word, really, coachable. So as we are recruiting, now the topic of my speech is how to, or I think it's win a car, earn a car, recruiting 101, how to, when to, where to, why to, something to that effect. Okay, so the how to is, I guess there's some things I can share about that. Earning a car, like what does it look like? That's just quick, right? That's like, you guys should all know the details if you don't go look in your advanced online. You guys know where that is, right? If you go to publications, advanced online, it's got a little bit arrow, drop down menu little thing. It says advanced PDF or something, brochure. It's like 60 pages. Right? I think we went through it last Pink Boot Camp. Okay? So, but that has the ins and outs and details of every aspect of our business, moving up, what you get, when you get it, how to earn a car, everything. So it's there, it's all written out. Like I may have them shout out a couple little things, right? You start with 5, you end with 14. You anywhere from 1 to 4 months. You have to have 5,000, you end with 20,000. You can't go below 5 team members at 5,000 a month. Boom, you earn a car. Done. Fantastic. I don't care about the car. Car's great. Do it. Earn it. That's what that speaks to people. That adds credibility to who you are. But what is the reason that you're doing that? So what are the bigger things of that? Now I can say that a little bit because I've had 4 now, and so maybe I'm a little bit, maybe it is a big deal. But we say jaded. And it's not jaded, and it's not that
we're not in a bad way.
That's me too.
Not the bad way.
Yeah.
To throw something out there, so as we have it in there, that is a big deal.
I know. That's what I'm coming back to.
That's gonna be exciting.
To know that it's not that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah, because it's a hurdle that
Yeah.
you're gonna get up to, get over.
Yeah.
And the next,
Yeah, like for you, it's the trip to London, and that's where you are now. Getting that car is that trip to London.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and that came out the wrong way. So, but I guess what I mean is the requirements. Okay, so I have 40 minutes to talk. I don't want to spend 20 of them talking about how to earn a car.
No.
Because that's not what's gonna get somebody there unless they haven't learned that, in which case they'll read it, right? So we'll do a snippet on that, but then the thing is how to get the people, because the people are what earn you the car. So that's the difficult thing, right? So being that you're leaving me in 15 minutes and you guys aren't gonna be in that red jacket thing, how we talked about it some with the connection with the iStory. That's huge. That is your time. You are not guaranteed more than 2 hours in front of these women. If you can get somebody to come to a party and you can put products on their face, you need to assume that that is all you're gonna get from them. Is their 2 hours of time. And that doesn't mean give them, the entire business on a platter. But it means you have to connect right then. so that you have a chance of a future encounter, right? So that you can, but you want to lay it out enough so that it's enticing, so that it's something that they are willing to look at. It's not for everybody, right? But the ones that it's for, I have had women that I could tell you Mary Kay would be the best thing that could ever enter their lives. And maybe at some point they'll figure that out. But I can't do it, right? Because they are not willing. Okay, and then even if they finally got in, they wouldn't be coachable until they had a shift in their own heads. So, so what you're looking for in a new consultant, in a recruit.
That's good.
I may disappoint you here. I will recruit anyone. That doesn't mean that I think everyone's going to be amazing. That doesn't mean that I don't work to find those women that are already successful in life. Because when you're successful in life, you know how to transfer that success to something else. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to work with women that intimidate me, because those are going to be the women that take their businesses to the next level because they know how. Okay, so that's what I want. But I will recruit anyone because I don't know what they're going to do. You know, I mean, I don't know if they have some hidden skills or some hidden things that I just don't see right away. There's been people that have come into this business that I go, no, and they blow my socks off. They surprise the heck out of me because they're willing to work and they're coachable. And then there has been other women, speaking of one in particular, that I was like, oh my gosh, you're the next Emily. Like, you have it all dialed in. Like, you have got this. I'm so excited. Want to know how much she did? Not a darn thing. Okay? I would 10 times rather work with somebody that has nothing but doesn't play the victim. Oh my gosh, people, it drives me crazy when people play the victim. I don't care if you are a victim or not. I don't care. Like, you have to, at some level, work your way forward. You can't constantly rest back on that because you will never move out of that mindset. And you will always be the victim. So, sorry, side note there. But I feel like I would rather work with somebody that has nothing, can't, you know, is maybe even unsure of themselves, but willing to work and coachable. Because I can work with that person and I can get them along that road because they're listening to me. And I've had other people that come in and even some women that have come in with inventory and ready to do it, but they want to do it all their own way. They want to find their own way. And that's fantastic to a point. But, you know, like, I've been here long enough. I have some things I could share that would help you be more successful if you wish. And they go, oh yeah, okay, I got that. And they go and they do their own thing, and they may have a level of success in that because they're strong people. But they don't get to maybe where they could have if they had been willing to be a little coachable and listen, you know. So I will recruit anybody, and I will I'll get everybody's hands onto that rope. And that for me looks like something that I feel like finally just have mastered, you know, never mastered, but have gotten good at. I used to say that I was not good at training. It was,
You are.
well, I am now.
Yes, you are, Deb.
Okay, but it was a weak point for me, and I had recruited a whole bunch of people that were in and out in a heartbeat and didn't stick around. And let me tell you how hard it is to maintain a Cadillac by yourself. It doesn't work well. You end up with a really big copay. Okay, so when you work with people and you really train them how to do this business so that they can learn now how to stay on the rope and what to do, and maybe even make some of their own ropes. Like, they learn how to, you know, and then they have the tools to do that. That's great. If to look along with, this is a video game making. You know what I mean? Like, so once they're at that level, then that's fantastic, and they can make their own way because they have the foundation.
It's kind of like shoots and ladders.
It's like everything, man. Right. So getting them on the road, and that to me then is transitioning them that first 3 meters, whatever it is, you know, to that first curve where they have to make a decision. For me, that's my new checklist for when a consultant signs up. I spend that time with them. They can do it on their own, or they can meet with me, you know, and we can do it together here, depending on their personality type. Depends on if I meet with them and have them do everything step by step on that checklist right here in front of me, or whether I say, hey, go do it, let me know if you have a question. Right, with you, I'd be like, hey, go do it, let me know. You know, but if you want help, I'm here, but I know that she would go do it. And there's other people that are like me that would just be like, oh, that's over there, you know, and they just won't sit long enough to do it. And so getting them as far as I can down that rope with my guidance, at the very beginning, and seeing who stays on the rope. So that is my job as a recruiter, is to, in my opinion, you know, I mean, they may throw me out at the end of this saying that I'll recruit anybody, but I will. Like, I've had women that,
How many people do you know that you
on my screen, like 120. Okay. There's 2 different ways to calculate that, but whatever. Anyways, so, but that is our job as a recruiter. So I'm talking to red jackets, right? You guys are all red jackets, almost, in the making. So your job is to bring them in, okay? And what does that look like? They get a starter kit. When we're talking about how to, when to, where to, why to, when do you bring them in? You have that 2 hours. Now, will everybody sign up during that 2 hours? No. But some of them know. I sign up so many women at the class because guess what they want? The miracle set. And they did 10 perfect reasons and they marked A, B, or C. And I just sold them the miracle set. I sell first, then I book my parties, and then I recruit, okay? So I just sold them the miracle set. Maybe I sold them a whole roll of that, whatever. I sold what I sold. And then I talk about the business aspect of it. And that kit, it's $117.55 after tax and shipping. The miracle set, you guys have heard me say this, right? The miracle set is $117 before tax. So what is that after tax? I don't want to look it up really quick. It's $125 or something, right? Something like that. For the miracle set, okay? My miracle set includes foundation. Okay, you get 10 times more stuff in there. 10, but you know, you get all that and a business, and there's no obligation. $125.78. Okay, so like, why wouldn't somebody decide that unless there was some huge thing they're scared or whatever? So it's such a good deal if they're buying it anyways, or even if they're buying the basic cleanser, moisturizer, the foundation, $66 for a little bit more. You can have all of it. If they get any pieces of the things that they're going to get in that starter kit, and they're interested in the business at all, I am working to recruit right then and there. Okay. Unless, let me just throw this last little part out there. Unless they are very specifically somebody that I choose not to work with. So I say I recruit everybody. There's maybe a grain of salt with that. If it's somebody that I am not interested in working with, I feel like this person would drive me up the wall, and they don't have enough interest anyways, I'm not going to be like, oh, get the starter kit and lose the sale. That's just not my business. So, what were we going to say?
Well, I had a lady say, well, I'll just get the starter kit, and then if I don't want to do it, I won't do it. And I said, well, I don't know if that's a good reason. I talked her out of it. So I need to talk back into it, right? So, okay.
Because it's the rope. Again, back to the rope. So when you get a little farther down the road or down the rope, then you can see farther. So you can see the turns, you can see the whatever, okay? Down a road, really. I learned this in high school, how sometimes you go down a road and you get very annoyed at that road. But, and it's not a happy road. You get down there, you make this turn off here, there's a door here, you can't go past it, I'm mixing my analogies, whatever. You know, you turn this way, you end up wherever you end up, and negative things were happening in there that you didn't care for. But all of a sudden up here, there's another road. If you had stayed on this road here, you never would have gotten to that road. So sometimes you have to make turns and do different things to get places to get you farther than you would if you had just stayed on your little happy road. And so same thing for a new consultant. They're brand new, they don't know what's possible. Emily, she was getting, I believe, it was I just remember it was $13 more for her to get the kit than it was for her to go home with what she was gonna get. And she hemmed and hawed even over that. And she decided, well, why not? I'll get the kits. Don't know if I'll do anything with it, but I might as well. It's more stuff anyways, and then maybe I can, maybe I can sell it with a friend or something. And that's usually somebody's thought process. Even if they say, well, it's just a really good deal, it's somewhere in there, maybe they'll sell it to a couple friends and maybe. Or maybe they'll just get on the shut half price. So with that said, I will recruit that person on the chance that once they have signed that agreement and paid their $117.55, that their eyes will go like this. Because they've made one commitment. They've gotten to a knot in the rope. I'm working on that analogy. But they've gotten to somewhere in that rope that allows them to see farther. And so while in her head she's thinking, well, I might as well just get the kits, and in your head thinking, well, I'm going to lose a sale. It's like those dollars, and I think it was in the Mary Kay autobiography, where, I don't know who it was, I'm going to mess that one up. But basically, somebody came to his boss and said, I just want to make millions of dollars, that's all I want. And he had him put on a pair of those, wire glasses with silver dollars in them. And he said, what do you see? He goes, I don't see anything, the dollars are in the way. And he said, exactly. You're never going to get there if you're so concentrated on the money. Okay? Yeah. So, I will lose a sale and gain a consultant. You were ready. You still have a couple minutes. Not any day, but most days. The only reason I wouldn't if it's very specifically somebody that I don't feel is a good fit, then I will take the sale. Okay. But other than that, I'll lose the sale and I'll gain a consultant. And I will do everything I can to get their hands on that rope and see how far they're going to hold on. Okay? Because once they've made that shift of I put my money somewhere and now this is available to me, because they don't even know what's available, right? And then when I go through that new consultant checklist, they see what's available. Now, then their next big decision is inventory, right? Now, I try in my checklist not to have that be like where I stop. It used to be. I would stop at inventory and wait till they made a decision before I moved them on. Well, now I don't, because while you and I know inventory is so important, I'm not going to shoot somebody in the foot because they haven't wrapped their head around it or they feel there's no capability to get it. Now I'm going to say they feel there's no capability to get it, because you don't always know if that's true or not.
I've done this twice. The first time, no inventory. This time, with inventory, and I'm much more successful. I know it doesn't look like
No, but you are.
I am. I feel like I'm gaining ground.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how slow you start, because you're continually moving forward. And at some point, yeah, you're here, you're training, you are moving forward, and that's what we want. We don't want you to stop and be stagnant, because everybody everywhere is always moving forward. And if you just stop, well, then really you're moving backwards. You lose the momentum that you gained. And so I don't care if somebody goes fast or slow, as long as you're moving forward and you're happy with where you're at, with still probably the desire for more. I know there is. And that's good. Yeah, don't ever feel like there's anything negative about that. Yeah. So, so I'll get them on the road. Inventory is that next big decision, and I see if they're gonna hang on the road through that, whether they get it or not. And then I move on to let's do these training and have them listen to Ari Hathaway booking some scripts. Okay, and then I have them make a contact list. Okay, and then I have them watch the booking video and the coaching video. And it started now, just in the last week or so. If they start as a star consultant, I'll do a launch party for them, which means I'm going in and helping them book those first date parties, and they're sharing appointments and potentially selling $1,000 for them in a night if they can bring me 15 people. That's, only for star consultants. So, and I am doing it for Jessica as a Red Jacket debut. So that's potential as well, if you desire that. Okay. So, as far as that, I like the idea. I like what it's given, and it kickstarts things. So Jessica, she's a Red Jacket, but she doesn't have much on her books right now. She's done some work and gotten some results from that work, but hasn't done a lot of it. That's not true. She's done some of it for parties, a little bit for parties, but not a lot. Okay, so she doesn't have those on her books and overflowing. She still needs a lot of work in that area to get more bookings and more parties so that she can work her business full circle. Okay, and so that will help her really kickstart it now that she's the top 7% okay. And she likes that. She's ready to go for it. She's now opening her mouth and talking to people about it because that's a confidence booster. Okay. Now Kimberly, who's done parties and sharing appointments and everything, like she's got that dialed in. You may not need a launch for a Red Jacket debut party, but we will. You know, like you would know how to do it, but then we do it. I like the idea of getting like that fun celebration of that accomplishment, and then I'll come in. So this is kind of a shifting, and I'm learning, right? I'm finding new roads. You know, of something that we can do to celebrate that and have your family jump on board with you even more, and friends and anybody, and move forward with maybe more higher quality booking with people that you've had a hard time getting to commit to a party up to this point. Does that sound good? Yeah. So finding their way down the road. So as far as the how to recruit, there's a couple different reasons that somebody are going to sign up. Any of these things that we talked about, either they're going to glom onto that, or any one of those things. The money aspect of it, the fun, the friendships, one of those things has got to resonate with them enough for them to sign up. And I will sign them up at the party if I can. Now, there are certain personality types. If you've studied the DISC, go for it. The D's and I's are more impulsive decision makers. I was an I made a decision without even, I didn't even know it was in the kit. How much is it to start? $100. Okay, there you go. The girl's jaw hit the floor, and then almost as impulsive, didn't do it when there was tax and shipping, right? And so that was the decision that I made very quickly. But other personality types, S's and C's, namely, will not sign up on the first time. And we know that. And that's okay. Oh my gosh, I do. Because once you've made the decision, you're more in it. The D's and the I's will go, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then sometimes we keep going and sometimes we don't. But the S's and C's, they have done a lot of that prep work at the beginning and they get into it and they go, okay, I know what this is going to take. And I'm going to keep moving forward. And so those are the people, if I can't get them to sign up right then and there, I'm not going to push it, I'm not going to force it, but I'm going to facilitate it if we can. I have my stuff ready. You better have your stuff ready if they want to sign up. Have your computer up, you're not supposed to enter a paper agreement for them, but even if they fill it out, so that's a commitment if they, whatever. But have something ready for them to sign up right away. So even on your phone, you can pop it up on your phone and hand it to them, and they can plug in their numbers and their information and sign up right then and there on your phone. Okay, so have the tools in place for them to sign up right away. And then if you need to, set up a sharing appointment with you and your director, or by yourself, if you are at that level, right, where you can do your own sharing appointments. And if they do not sign up on the spot at a sharing appointment, you need to constantly find the next thing that they're coming to. So what are their reasons for not signing up? You have to listen to people, right? At the very end of my sheet, I say on a scale of 1 to 4, 1 being never in a million years, 4 being you're ready to start now, where are you? And they'll tell me a 2 or a 3 or whatever. And I'll go, great, okay, well, what would move you to a 4? And that's their reason. Well, and they're going to tell me why or why not. You know, hopefully they're telling me the truth in that sense. And so if they say, well, I just don't have the money right now. Okay, well, what if I let you go sell 15 mascaras? You sell 15 mascaras, and giving them the options to find that money. You know, if you went and borrowed, you know, $20 from 6 friends, and let them know for the rest of their life they could have Mary Kay at half price. You know, like what an investment that is, $20, right? Yeah. So I mean, there's different ways to combat different things, and so, but you listen to them, what their reasons are, and then you work on bringing them back to things. Always do that sharing appointment within 48 hours if you can. The closer they are to the product, the more likely they are to sign up. You know, they go home, and that's also why I sign up with the party. Because if they go home and there's a bill on the table, and then we're gonna have a sharing appointment that very next morning, you know, I just realized I don't have the money for this. And I'm like, this is gonna make you money. But they don't see it because they're not far enough down the road. So sharing appointment and then bring them back to things. You know, I mean, you came to multiple things. You came to a career event, you came to do a sharing appointment. We did, we went out to lunch. Product launch, I mean, we do fun stuff all the time. Have them come, keep inviting them. You know, not overkill, but you understand how people respond to you as to whether they're still interested in coming. Okay? And I was really surprised when Kimberly was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I was like, really? Awesome, okay. You know, and it wasn't something that I expected, but I'm so glad that you did. And you know, the thing about the roads, you and I both have gone down that road that was kind of crappy with work, and you realize, oh my goodness, but if that hadn't happened, I would not have ended up in Mary Kay full time, okay? Because I never would have left teaching. I wouldn't have. It was my secure job. I'd gone to school for it. I would not have left, okay? But because of what happened, that was crappy, you know, I made a choice to pursue Mary Kay full time. And I figured it out from there, and oh my gosh, how glad I am that I did. Okay. So, gosh, there's just so much, it's all disjointed, but you get the picture, right? I'm just not called you yet. Let me double check here. Hey, just checking in. Are you just finishing up with your girl? She had an appointment from 10 to like 11:15 or 30, and she had an appointment at noon, so she's with so that's the, yeah, you don't know either, can you? So is that enough for the how-to? I mean, you just keep bringing in other things, and you keep connecting, and you make the time to invest in who they are, because if they're worthwhile to you and they need more information, you will work with them. Now there's also a time to know when to let go. You're the best, thank you. Okay, give me 1 second. So from that point, what did I just say before that?
Different roads to bring people in.
Yes.
Knowing when.
Yes. When to let go. I think that a lot of the reason that direct sales gets the negative rap that it does is that we don't know when to let go. okay? So, and other people, not all our fault, other people don't know how to say no.
That's a lot of it right there. Say, hey, what do you
Like, I have gained confidence in and of myself. If I don't want to do something, I will tell you. Okay, but instead we get people who are like, sure, okay, and then they just give you the runaround, and that's so frustrating, so annoying. But you know, you can't chase that ball. You have to learn when to throw the ball into their court and say, okay, if you want to bring it back, let me know. Like, I'll play ball whenever you're ready, but I am not going to spend this valuable emotional energy. I don't know why it's here, whatever, it's all connected. I'm not going to spend my valuable emotional energy on somebody who is not ready. Okay, so I was listening, going back, so I was listening to this thing, Heidi Getzel, I believe, she's a national, and I record everything that I listen to at conferences. And I think she was at January Jamboree this last year in wherever, down south. But she said that we are a room, or she went to Linda Tubin, sorry. So she went to a conference with Linda Tubin, and when they entered the room, she said, welcome to the room of the brokenhearted. Okay? Now, I want to get real with this aspect and say that Mary Kay is not all fun and games. It is very fun, but there is emotional stuff that happens when you work with people. Okay? And I don't know about you, but I'm a very emotional person. I'm very sensitive. I love people, and I get hurt really, really easily. And so people don't really notice that because I don't show them my heart on a platter always. You know, if you're with me one-on-one, you'll know that. I don't hide it from anybody. But if they haven't taken the time to figure that out about me, they don't know. And their decisions are for themselves and not usually having anything to do with me. And yet I take those to heart because we have invested our emotional energy into somebody. And if they say no, it hurts our hearts. Okay? Now it may or may not ever be for them. And that's okay. And so we need to understand that if it's not for them, a no is not personal, it's not against us. And we need to celebrate who they are and let them be who they are and move on, which is hard. I don't like moving on, right? But it's a fact of life, and it's something that we have to get used to. And so moving up in Mary Kay is a heartbreaking journey. And so I want you guys to know that now and commit to that, because as heartbreaking as it is, and these are not my words, this is this other lady that spoke this, and I really internalized it, that there will be women then who come along and heal that broken heart. Right? Because they follow that rope, they trust you, they listen to you, they do what you say, they learn how to build their own ropes, and they find success in Mary Kay. Now, success is a lot of different definitions. You know, if you're talking to a lot of different consultants, earning the car, becoming a sales director, maybe that's success. But I would argue that you've already found success in 4 weeks in this business.
I think I have to.
Absolutely.
And I find that what I've done in this past week, with the opportunities that were presented to me, is going to be so beneficial when I leave, because I'm that much further, you know, and I'm confident about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know, and you've taken the time to get the training.
exactly.
I love that, because even though inventory's been a struggle,
It has
and
been,
other
and
life
booking
things.
my appointments is, you know, getting people to commit to come.
oh, that's always going to be a struggle.
It will be, but it is possible. Look at what happened in 2 days.
It is possible.
You know, I had made 80-some calls on my own and got nothing, okay, with the leads that I had to start with. And then, just in 2 days, I made another, 80-some calls and booked 11 appointments,
Awesome.
you know, and have 2 more that are gonna book.
Yeah.
You know, and they're just checking schedules, they're starting new jobs, and they don't know what their schedules are gonna be. So I've been given time to call them back. But that's like 13, when I did all that other, you know, days and days. I would sit for hours at Starbucks,
Yeah.
so I couldn't sit there no more. And got nothing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's, you know, I knew that that would happen. And I was prepared for that to happen.
That's it right there. So this is what I'm trying to do with you guys. Because I'm gonna be talking to a room full of red jackets, and once you get to that level, you have a knowledge base of this company. And you're either gonna go for it, or you're gonna stagnate, you know? And so I want people to be prepared. And I feel like I love Mary Kay, and I love this company, and I love our leaders, and I love the positivity that needs to be added to our list of things. As we get positivity, okay? I love all of those things, but I feel like sometimes we are not realistic. And I am a very realistic person. I understand that there's gonna be hard times, and I don't like it, and there's times when I want to stay in bed. You guys have no idea, like last night was so difficult for me, I did not sleep well, my heart was broken. And it's not even from anything that any one person did, but it was from me continuing to offer something for free to women in my unit who should want and need it. And 12 to 15, and I'll share it here, but 12 to 15 women having a reason, one reason or not, some of them very good and some of them not so great, as to why they couldn't commit to coming to Autumn Dance for free. Okay.
If I had the opportunity, I would be there in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
Come hell or high water, I would make it.
Yeah.
They would,
Okay.
you know,
So
that
can you
goes with
imagine
this.
how,
pulling the strings and not fraying my rope, holding strong.
yes,
And that's
yeah.
mine.
Yeah,
I
there's a
mean,
lot of
I know I
analogies that
want-
go with that road, yeah. So that hurt me, knowing how much some people say they want something, and what will hold them back? Does a $30 hotel room hold you back? You know what I mean? Like, if a $30 decision is going to take away 2 days with almost the #1 national sales director in our entire company, who retires in a year and a half, if that's gonna take that away from you, then it's hard. It breaks my heart. Now, I understand. And it's not just one, I literally went through probably 12 to 15 people. And I heard lots of different, and I'm so, like, I understand that there's situations and there's things, but that doesn't mean it doesn't affect you.
Right.
So it hurts me as a woman trying to offer something and to not have that received, regardless of the reason. Okay? So that for me was hard last night, and I was really dwelling on that, and honestly, it was probably put there for the very reason for me to know how I want to speak to these red jackets and let them know that they're in for it. Because when you invest in people, like I said in my Facebook this morning post, it's messy. People are messy, and that is not my own quote. People are messy, but people are worth it. You know, and I'm so excited to see the people that didn't have $30 today have the ability to go bless other women in the future because of this business. And I have to detach my poor little heartstrings, you know, and say it's not about me. And it's something that will continue to improve and change hopefully over time as finances and mental state and anything else, you know, even just time. Some people, like, if I'm like, it's Wednesday, can you go somewhere on Saturday? That's not enough time for them. You know, I know. But it's the different levels of commitment and ability and personality. And there's just so much that goes into that. So not at all for any one person to think that I'm like, oh, you didn't go. But I'm trying to say how it hurt me. And not that they hurt me, but that I hurt. I'm an emotional person, and it was just hard for me to have so many people tell me no when I'm like, here's this gift. And you know what I mean? And so suffice to say, it is hard. And it is a journey, and it is work. Something else I'm going to tell them, and my consultants, y'all should know this by now, but 30 faces a month, that is what we tell a new consultant to do. If you are not seeing 30 faces a month and you are frustrated with your business, it is your fault. Okay? Now, oh, I don't have leads, or oh, I'm booking and they're not holding, or oh, whatever. That is fixable. I'm okay with it if it takes you a little bit of time to learn, but you have to take the time. Sometimes you have to step backwards before you step forward. You have to go back and take the time to fix whatever the issues are. I heard this before, again, not an original thought. I don't think any of you Mary Kay is. But, you know, if you're not getting the results out of your business that you want, the first thing you look at is volume. If you're not seeing 30 faces a month, get there first. The second thing, if you are seeing 30 faces a month and you're not satisfied, then you look at the quality of the women that you're working with. Okay? The reason I joined Chamber of Commerce was because I wanted to work while my daughter was in school, and who I ended up with were welfare moms and people that didn't have work during the day. Those were the people that were coming here, and nothing against that, but they didn't have the money to spend on skincare. They had a great time, but at the end of the day, this is a business, and I wasn't making good use of my time. So I joined the Chamber of Commerce, where I would have access to women and people that have jobs. Amazing! And that opened up my sphere of influence even more. Okay? And so I took a step back to take a step forward to get those higher quality people. That sounds bad, but you get the idea, right? Yeah. People that are going to be beneficial in my business, that have the ability to purchase when they want it. Okay? The third thing, if you are seeing at least 30 cases a month, you're seeing quality of people, that and then only is when you look at skill. Okay? Because if you have everything else in place and it's not working right, well then go back and fix some things. Have somebody watch what you're doing, tweak your words, or anything, you know, like fix the skill base of it. But until that point, like, you don't have to be good at it. If the product sells itself, you can do everything wrong. And if you're excited and enthusiastic and you're seeing the right people, the right amount of people, then it's going to be successful. Okay? Unless there's something seriously that you need to tweak, and we can help with that. But I'm not going to tweak anybody's skill on anything until they're seeing 30 cases a month. Because if you're not doing that, you're not working this business the way that it was meant to be worked. And that's okay. You can do it however you want until you do it. Okay? But if you want to see an income that is consistent, I have so many people that don't start Mary Kay because they need a consistent paycheck. Well, if you work consistently in Mary Kay, you will get a consistent paycheck. Okay? It's the numbers.
What scares me, truthfully,
Yes.
is a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Because there's no hope of getting any more until they decide if they're going to give you a raise, or they don't after 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
that happened to me in my last jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was winning awards.
Yeah.
And still no.
But just like I never would have left teaching. We're set in our secure little show up to work, go home, collect our paycheck. And that's part of that's not necessarily the victim mentality, but the part that is unwilling to take a risk. So it's different, totally separate from the victim mentality that says, I can't do it, there's no way, everybody's, whatever. But the people that are secure and unwilling to take a risk, they want something different, but they will not leave their pedestal. And in 10 years, those people are going to be still right there on that pedestal, and maybe content and maybe not. But I would rather go up and down and end up at a different place, and enjoy the highs and cry through the lows.
That's right.
And live my life than to have gotten to the end of it and didn't take risks. There's something that I forwarded on Facebook a couple years ago, forwarded again recently. It was like the top 5 regrets of people that were dying. And one of them is that they didn't take risks. They didn't allow themselves to be happy. They didn't say what needed to be said. They just shut themselves inside, and they wasted what could have been an extraordinary existence to be safe and secure, and they hated that at the end.
I think that's where I've been in my life.
Yeah.
Would not take the risk because was unsure of what the outcome would be, and I was the type of person that needed to know where I was going to end up and know that it would be okay. And right now, that's not even what it's about.
Yeah.
Right now, it's all about me and living my life and enjoying what I'm doing. And I am.
Because once you grab onto that rope, you get a little farther. It starts to become a little easier.
My rope's not fraying.
No, but there's still potholes, and there's still things that even when you're holding on to that rope, there's still negative things that can happen. And I guess those sometimes are the things that derail people. Somebody says, "Oh, well, I was holding on to the rope and I just tripped and fell, and because there was a pothole in the ground." Well, not even letting go. I mean, they can be doing everything right, and those rejections and those frustrations and negative, people and all of these different things and life circumstances. I mean, there's a million things that will derail you. But Mary Kay herself, her husband dropped dead a month before she was supposed to open this business. And she continued, not without grief, but she compartmentalized, I am sure.
I mean, even 2 days before she was supposed to go to that convention,
Yeah.
he passes away. And then by the end of the week, she was there with her happy face.
Exactly.
With her happy face. And that was weird.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, bless her heart.
So, I mean, this is an example that we have to follow. This is the person that put the first rope there, and that is how we found our ropes as sales directors, like finding where to go and how to do it. And but I want to warn you and prepare you and encourage you that it is hard and it is messy and it is heartbreaking, but it is worth it. And so if you will go into it knowing that there's going to be obstacles, knowing that life is going to happen, knowing that all of these things around you can be moving and swaying, but that you have something that is worth holding on to. And the only way that you're coming off that rope is if you quit. Or you just kind of let it sit there. There's times to hold on maybe for dear life, but other than that, you should be slowly or quickly moving forward and taking in everything that you can and becoming a better version of yourself and increasing your realm of influence for other women, and which allows you to help so many more people. Which, I mean, that's the whole reason Mary Kay started this, was to help women. I don't know any other direct sales company that was created to help its people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that doesn't mean that that's not a goal of theirs, but that is why she created this. You know, and so we have that legacy.
So, you know, that's.
It is exciting, and we get to pass that on to other women, and that we can have all the benefits that we talked about that we get from Mary Kay, and the financial means to go along with it, to be able to not just influence, but impact and benefit, and put our money where our mouth is sometimes. You know, like to imagine what it's like to know that something needs to happen and nobody else can do anything about it, but you're able to make a choice and help. You know, like there's big things that happen with money.
That's so weird.
That's the word. Okay, so I was in my shower this morning. Things happen. But I was in my shower this morning and I was just mulling through it because, again, to get to this point, I've gone through in this last 24 hours, this last week and a half, of a lot of ups and downs and a lot of realizations. But that was the word that came to me that I wanted to finish with. So I appreciate that coming to you as well. But fulfilling. Because it really is, and at the end of the day, like, when you feel fulfilled, that's all you can ask for. Like, that is, what's the top thing? These, what is it? The quintessential experience.
Yes.
Is to be fulfilled in your life.
Know that you have purpose.
Yeah. And not only to be fulfilled within yourself, but then to pass that on. And to help other women feel fulfilled. I mean, that's a power that few people have.
Probably. I have 4 granddaughters. I am just so blessed. And we probably have more. Yay. They're so awesome.
So to be able to give that to other people, something, a business that has all of the benefits and is fulfilling at the deepest level of who you are. Because you know, not only have you improved and changed and beaten the obstacles, but you have helped other women step into that. I cannot tell you how offspring a sales director, I can't tell you how that feels. To have someone, what?
Like having a newborn baby.
Well, yes and no. I mean, it is in that sense that it's a part of you, but it's somebody who can then go do it for themselves and do it for other people. And I give Emily all the credit in the world because she had it in her, but she didn't know the path. And so that was something I was able to give her, and she trusted me, and she listened, and she worked on it, and she learned how to follow my rope, and then she learned how to build her own ropes, and now she's got her own cave. You know, and that is so rewarding. And so, I know I'm going over time here, but we started a little bit late. Back to the Mary Kay math of it. Mary Kay is about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay? So addition, we're adding customers, right? I don't know what subtraction comes in. I guess sometimes you lose customers. I don't know. You know, well, your time, there's a loss probably at first where you feel like you're doing the work and you're not seeing the results. okay? But you're adding your customers, you're adding your customers. Now, multiplication is when you start adding consultants. Because those consultants are each now adding customers, and that's the very definition of multiplication, right? Are you with me? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're adding customers, and the subtraction aspect, I guess that would just be things coming up constantly, you know? And there's always gonna be subtraction in there, but as long as you're adding more than you're subtracting. This is another point that I wanted to make, especially to Red Jackets, because it's like, oh, I made it, I'm a Red Jacket, I've got 3 active team members, and 2 months down the road, they have nobody, or 3 months or 4 months, because people are only active for as long as they're active, and if they don't keep working, all of a sudden, there's your subtraction, you're not a Red Jacket anymore. So you need to continue to add more than subtract. So you wanna add more than you need, so enough will stick around for you to get where you need to go. Okay? So adding customers, and through those customers and those parties and all of those things, you are going to be finding consultants. And as you are now adding consultants, they are adding their own customers. And now your sphere of influence has widened because you're multiplying your number of customers or people that you're influencing by your consultants. Right? I've got 5 consultants, they're out seeing 30 people a month. Now, through something that I started, I'm reaching my 30 and they're all reaching 30. That's, 180 now instead of just my 30. Okay? So I'm going to go back to that in a second, but I wanted to start with that 30, how I was saying a new consultant needs to tell them 30 faces. I would say a Red Jacket should be seeing 50. A DIQ should be seeing 75. And a director should be seeing 100. Now the director has a little bit more flexibility, whether those are per people or per team. Okay, but between everybody, there should be minimum 100 people there. Okay, and new consultant, 30. Okay,
30, and then,
Red Jacket, 50. DIQ, or even on target car, slash DIQ, 75, and director, 100. Okay, does that help kind of those numbers? Sometimes to know what you have to do, you have to know the numbers of it.
I am trying to get my 30 faces. I've been begging my friends, please just let me use your face. I just want to get a little bit of practice. You don't have to buy anything. You're not obligated.
I know, but
Let's just
sometimes those are the
play.
worst ones.
I know.
Because we're begging,
Yeah.
and they're like, man.
Yeah.
That's an official response, the technical term. Okay, so back to addition. We did our addition. We have some subtraction always. We have our multiplication. Now from the multiplication comes division. So that is when you offspring a sales director, right? So I had my unit, I have all my consultants. Emily comes to the rank, she moves up, she's building her large unit, and then she breaks off and becomes her own
That's where your divide comes in.
director. That is where division comes in. Now those people, that is subtraction as well, because those people are no longer in my unit. They are their own units.
Right.
But, you have to divide to multiply. And so as I continue to build those women up and have more and more offspring sales directors, that is when you move up to become a national sales director. Okay, when you have at least 10 first line and 10 second line. So that's the math of it a little bit, and I don't know necessarily how that comes into play with everything, but I definitely want people to know that you have to keep adding.
Yeah.
Because just
People come and
terms of
they
the
drop
agreement,
off.
it will constantly be subtracted.
That's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the circle of life.
Okay, so and then fulfillment. I mean, that's very disjointed. But thank you guys for being in that with me, and,
Thank you.
and hopefully that will,
Enjoyed this class and felt good to be here.
good. Well, I'm gonna go turn off the video. The password is fulfillment.
Mm.